Is pain your major obstacle to moving more? So the other day, I wrote an email to my email list, and I was talking about moving more. And one of the things I said was, to get more movement in your day, sometimes do it twice. So if you're going up the stairs, come back down and go back up again. Do it twice. And somebody pointed out to me that they can't do the stairs like that because of pain. I'm Ellie. I have a business where I have clients and I do body work with them and movement education, and I help them move better and I help them get out of pain. And so actually what I'm going to do is put in the comments a link to because it just occurred to me that you might not be on my email list and maybe you would like to. So I'll put in a free guide that you can download, and if you would like, and that would give your email address to me and I will add you to my list. Back to pain. So if you have pain that keeps you from going up and down the stairs, like knee pain specifically, that's often what people run into, although it can be hip pain, it could be foot pain, it could be a combination of these things. Maybe the pain is in the knees, but it's a problem from the hips or the problem from the feet. There are numerous reasons behind why we have pain. Basically, though, pain is communication. It doesn't invalidate any of what you're going through, because pain, it's there, it can be there, and it can be debilitating, and it can be frustrating. Pain is a whole, there's a whole science around learning about pain and how to help people reduce pain. It can be very complex. But I'm not an expert in that area, so what I'm going to do is just give you a couple of things that you can do that might help you get out of pain. So the first thing I want to do is have you check your feet. Those very important feet. The foundation to being on earth as a bipedal creature. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a little walk, and then I want you to stop, and just stop and stand. Don't change how you're standing. Look at your feet. Notice how they're placed. Notice if they are straight, or is one splayed out? Are they both splayed out? So I'm going to stand up, so it's going to, so that you can see my feet. I apologize, my face won't be in the camera at the same time, but our feet are meant to face forward. Our toes, they want to go forward because that's the direction we're going in. And same with our eyes, you know, we go where our eyes go. Our feet, we go where our feet go. If you're walking, and when you stop, every time you do this, you've got an imbalance happening. And so right now, I have more weight on this leg than I do this leg. This is my hip that tends to gets cranky. This is my knee that gets cranky, and my foot down there that gives me trouble. I realized, the very first time I realized this, I had an amazing shift. And you'll be able to actually see. What I want you to do is I want you to look at my hips, look at how I'm standing, And now what I'm going to do is just move this foot facing forward. And when I do that, did you notice my hips? And not only did my hips shift and my body shift, I lessened the amount of weight that's on this foot. And the pain in that foot started to go away almost right away. That's not to say I don't still struggle with issues with that foot. I'm always working on that foot. But it's probably 80% better than it used to be. So aligning your feet, whenever you stop, whenever you're waiting in line somewhere, check your feet. Make sure they're facing forward. When you're at home, or if you're on a linoleum floor, or you're somewhere where there are lines on the floor, like you could have a wood floor that has a line on it, check that this lateral part, you can't see that, this part here, the lateral part where your pinky toe is straight. You can do it with a piece of paper as well. So that, whoops, except for they need to be straight. There we go. That. When I first did this, I felt like I was knock-kneed. But I'm actually not. It just was uncomfortable or unusual for me. So this is now more comfortable for me because I'm now used to it. It's my new normal. I'm not doing this anymore. So check your feet. Anytime you stop, anytime you're standing for something, stand equally on both feet, feet facing forward. See if that helps a little bit. What was I going to say about that? No, I can't remember. So check your feet, check your alignment. Oh, I know what I was going to say about that too, is you can also not just check your feet, but make sure that your legs are under your hips. Not the side of your hips over here, but the inside of your hips, where that joint actually is. Straight down. Sometimes we stand like this, and if we're standing like that, we're looking for a more stable base. But now when I do that, if I go sideways, you can see, I sort of get into a hyper extended knee when I do that, and I sort of rest my back on my hips. If I bring my feet under my hips, then I'm in a more aligned position. And when we have a more aligned position, guess what? The joints move better. They're more smooth. So that'll help. So that's one, check your feet. Two, there are some things that you can do. So when we have pain, it could be because of joint pain. It could be because of muscle. It could be our alignment is out. It could be maybe we had an injury that hasn't healed. It could be the fascia around in our body, and our fascia covers every part of our body and affects every part of our body. So if you had an ankle sprain, you might have an issue on the opposite hip or somewhere else because of the fascial pull. And I'll do a video later this month about fascia because it's an incredibly important and fairly new thing that is being learned about. Anyway, so We can have pain because we're moving too much, or maybe it's a repetitive movement that is the joints out of alignment and we're doing repetitive movement, or it could be because we're not moving enough and we're not getting the muscles working well. So a lot of reasons for why there can be pain in our body, but you can tell just by feeling if there's tightness in an area. If you go along your leg and you feel there isn't a push, you can't push in to your muscle, then that tone might be tight. And if you have tightness in your calves, whether it be the back of the calf or the front of the calf, or if you have tightness in your thigh muscles, that can affect your knees, can affect your ankle, can affect your hip. So you're hearing a pattern here maybe. So there are a couple things that I'm going to show you that you can do to help relax those muscles. But I want you to know, it isn't a one and done. You can't just do this once. You can't just do it once and say, oh, that feels good, and then expect it to feel good in 2 days. You have to get your body used to being in that position, that place, that released, relaxal space. We're working on fascia as well when we do this. And so that fascia that's attached here and comes all the way up into the knee and into the hip, if we're making change in that fascia, you also have to change your movement habits and that positioning habit or postural habit of checking your feet, making sure that you're in alignment. It's a combination of these things. It's not I can do this once and then I feel better. Although sometimes that happens. I've been doing this work on my hands and I'm actually quite amazed. So the first thing I'm going to show you is something I learned recently from a woman, Deanna Hansen. She has no idea who I am. But she does something she calls block therapy, and it sounds very similar to Rossiter, which is what I do. Rossiter is a two-person stretching workout where when I help my clients and I'm using Rossiter, I step on a body part and direct them through a stretch, and it works on the fascial tissue. I have developed some ways that you can do that yourself. Block therapy seems very similar to that to me. So I'm going to show you the first thing that I learned about calf work with that. So we're going to take a towel. Okay, I've already got it folded up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it really tight. Okay, and then, and I apologize for me coming out of the camera again, but I'm going to tuck that behind my knee in this position. Now, if you need a little bit of cushion, I'm on a mat here, but if you need a little cushion or a mat underneath or a soft rug or something under your knees so that you can kneel, that's fine. But you're going to put that there, and then you're going to come down and you're going to sit on it. But you're going to stop yourself if it becomes too painful. So we are kind of, like Rossiter, looking for that pain. The pain will turn and will change and shift as you do this. The foot, let me move over a little so you can really see. You want your foot to not be turned in. You want it to be straight as you can, which is hard for me. That ankle does not like that really. So I'm not going too far. I'm going to adjust this till I find where it's good. Okay, so that's a little bit intense, and I'm just going to lean into it a little bit. I'm using some stands here if you need another chair or a stool or something so that you can keep you can hold yourself upright. That can be helpful. So I'm sinking in. Now the important thing I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on my breath. I'm going to inhale to the count of 4, and then I'm going to exhale to the count of 6. And I would do this for 3 minutes. And if for some reason you lose that breathing and you can't exhale for the count of 6, then it's too much. So you want to back off a little bit. You can also shift your body to find a different spot. I can get in and lean in just a little bit more there. You can come back a little bit. That gets intense. And when you're done, come out and let your leg relax, and you can feel that that may have made some change in the fascia all the way into your foot, maybe up into the hip, through your knees, hopefully. The way that I do this with more of a Rossiter method, and you can follow this method too, is I have these lovely blocks, so I'm kind of lucky. You can use a tennis ball, or you can use a lacrosse ball. You could use something like this. It's just this is a little bit squishy, so it might not be as intense. Yeah, that doesn't do it for me. So I am going to use the lacrosse ball, and I'm going to put it on my block. You could do this on a stool if you were sitting on a couch and you have a coffee table that you can put your leg on. And now I'm letting my leg, I'm keeping my knees straight, and I'm letting my calf press down into that ball. So it's like a pinning. I'm pinning that tissue. And then I'm going to start moving. So I'm flexing my toes toward me, and now I'm pointing my toes away. And I'm moving my foot as much as I can and feeling that movement right underneath where that lacrosse ball is. You can place the lacrosse ball or whatever you're using in different places because you're going to have spots in different places. There's a spot. So I've turned my leg in just a little bit and I feel a spot there. Now, I would like it to be a little more intense, although that's good when I do that. And I'm moving slowly, so move slowly. But keep that pressure, that weight of your leg into that lacrosse ball. This is a kind of pain that's like a good pain. It's the kind of pain that we know is not danger pain. Now, to make it even more intense, I'm going to take the heel of my other foot and place it on the front there. And I'm pressing in and I'm flexing that foot and slowly moving and pointing that foot. And I can feel that all the way up into my hip and down into my foot, and especially behind that knee. So I'm also going to make a big circle with that foot, tracing the biggest, right in there is good. I'm going to pulse it in there a little bit. I'm tracing the biggest circle I can with that foot, and then I go the other direction. And then really push that heel out. And you can do it a couple of times. And then you can feel, yeah, that does more for me than using the towel. You might find that you start to get a little bit of a cramp in your foot when you're doing that work. So then you can just kind of work it out. I didn't really get a cramp, almost. So that is how you can do some self-work on yourself to get out of pain. And then hopefully you can go for a walk after and it feels good. So that's all for today. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Be sure to check in the comments for the link to that free guide that I have. And what else? Yeah, let me know if you have questions. Oh, subscribe. Bye.